All right, everyone, welcome back. Coming into round 5 of the TC's Rockets Modern 1K here. We got Devin here on Kethis Combo against Tim on Mill. So Devin's Kethis Combo is something he's been on for a while. Got some interesting one-ofs here, sort of doing a graveyard-based combo deck, running some cards. Got Grist the Hunger Tide. He's running Kinnan. Got a Heliod Sun Crowned. Singleton Reality Chip. He's got 4 of Kethis, Emery, Rona, Herald of Invasion, Mox Amber, Oath of Nissa, Jace the Perfected Mind. On a few Agatha's Soul Cauldrons. And then Tim across the table, just on blue-black, good old blue-black mill.
A classic. You see, it looks like I think it's a Shelldock Isle. Gonna hide something away here.
One of the new secret lair printings. Devin starting the Plaza of Heroes.
Oh, that's a good one for his legendary tribal deck.
Not usually seen in Modern.
No. He's definitely played this deck very many a time. I think people who have been long-time viewers, long-time watchers have definitely seen the power level of Devin's deck, and he has had very many reps with this deck.
He's been on this for almost a year at this point.
Like,
a long time. Tim on the mill classic plan of play Hedron Crab, play lands.
Yeah, seems fine.
Which, in this matchup, is kind of doing what Devin wants to be doing anyway.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we'll see how that works out here.
Yeah, really Tasha's is what Tim wants to try to hit
Absolutely.
Devin with, because the more cards are in different graveyard, the easier it is for him to combo with Kethis.
Or set up Agatha's Soul Cauldron, which I'm sure does a lot in this deck.
Oh yeah. Trigger Mill 3. Okay, there's a Kethis. And Tasha. Tasha's. Alright, so we got, let's see. 1. 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, it's the boss. 7. Those 3 Mox Hammers are brutal. Oh my god,
there they are.
Mox Hammers. Holy moly. So 10, 13,
16.
16. Oh. 17, 18, 19, 20.
There we go.
Wow, that is a brutal Tasha.
That was a rough hit.
Oh, hitting all 4 Mox Hammers. That's definitely a very important piece for one of the numerous shrines that you can do in this
and deck. Some of the singletons too. Devin's now without his Walking Ballista or his Grist. I can't imagine the Grist would be really where he wants to be in this matchup.
Yeah.
But Walking Ballista under an Agatha's Soul Cauldron does a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he does draw Soul Cauldron here, which is nice. So that means he can exiles Kethis, so he gets his Kethis back, essentially, in a way.
Sure, yes.
Yeah. So you can put on that Rona, and untap Rona, so he gets to feed his yard a little bit more. Still sitting on double to Fairy. Got another land in hand as well.
And then for those unfamiliar with Kethis' text, does not see much play in Modern and is banned in Pioneer. Kethis is a 3-mana 3/4, cost a white, a black, and a green. Legendary spells cost 1 less to cast, and has the activated ability, which does work under Cauldron.
Yeah.
Exile 2 legendary cards from your graveyard. Until end of turn, each legendary card in your graveyard gains you may play this card from your graveyard.
Yeah. It's kind of like a Yawgmoth's Will. Alright, just gonna get Jace here. Get that now. So his other options really are just some Jace loops. He's gonna draw and discard. He's gonna discard a Teferi.
Which makes sense. Teferi doesn't do too much in this matchup.
Yes, it untaps because of Oath of Nissa, because that is a legendary spell. So Cauldron,
Cast
untap.
Cauldron, untapping.
So now really, Tim's got to be careful with just using Tasha's here. I mean, you just got to try to know your opponent. Right? Like, you just got to kind of go fast.
That's just what the deck does. It's
Yeah.
like Burn not playing their Burn spells. You're not going to get far without that.
Yeah, you can't not play your Burn spells into Death Shadow. But now kind of the race is on, because, like, you know, somebody who's familiar, because I've definitely seen Devin combo with this deck numerous times. We've had him on stream multiple times, and just in person, I've also seen him since he is a local player.
Absolutely.
He is kind of geared up for comboing here. It is a little bit more difficult just with every single one of his Mox Hammers being gone, which is really unfortunate, but you've kind of got to work around it, because you can just Jace loop a bunch of times and try to just get in there with milling your mill opponent.
That'd be a thing to see here.
Yeah. Activate Rona. I'm going to draw and discard. You don't think...
Land? Discard a mana.
Mana Confluence, okay. One thing that is kind of nice for Devin is that Field of Ruin is the only thing that turns on the Archive Traps for Tim. Because he doesn't run any fetch.
Entirely fetchless mana base.
Yeah.
Which makes sense when you're on a mostly 5-color deck.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to fetch Shock a bunch of times, especially when you got a bunch of 5 color. How many cards you got in there? Is it 20 or less? Get that good old Shelldock Isle active. Devin's got another Kethis in hand. Recounting. That orange on his hat is almost the same color as like the Rocket Series opponent there.
Devin came color coordinated.
Yeah, he was ready to be on stream. He was like, I'm gonna be the same colors. It's the mat this year.
In Tim's hand, I'm seeing Drown in the Lock. Might be, if I'm remembering the card name correctly, Visions of Beyond. It's the one that becomes Ancestral Recall.
Yeah. Shutting Great Hall of the Citadel. Yeah, the Drown and Lock in Tim's hand definitely makes this a lot more difficult for Devin, having the counter spells now.
Yes. Really, depending on what Devin casts, it might not matter. It might be better suited just to kill spell to get Rona off the field.
Yeah.
Just to keep Devin without having creatures in play.
T-Fairy.
So Tim responding. The Drown in the Lock.
Drown it.
Countering at the Fairy.
So tap. Pass the turn. Is that another Fraying Sanity?
I think
So
it is. Tim's got 3 Praying Sanity.
Oh man, you like have to activate your field to get your 3rd blue mana. What are we doing here? Kind of a precarious situation. You don't really want to mill your opponent out too much if they've got Kethis essentially active with the Soul Cauldron on their own.
Yeah, at this point, Devin, effectively has Kethis.
Yeah.
Is able to loot several times with his Rona. And then also has enough lands in play to be able to play multiple spells and probably start to chain things to get something happening here. So we got a Jace the Perfected Mind, a Reality Chip, I think. No, it's an Emery. Apologies. Emery and a Cauldron milled off that, along with another land.
Visions. Oh, he's gonna push
Fatal Push the Rona.
Okay. I see an activation in response. So we're getting dangerously low on cards here. The Tasha's really make things a lot more difficult. Any other mill spell, this game would have essentially been over. Just being able to chain Mox Ambers.
Putting 4 Mox Ambers in the graveyard here would, basically just, I think, is absolutely game over.
Yeah. Playing a Kethis. Okay. Okie doke.
Devin exiling
Kethis plus Otawara. Be able to play legendary cards from his graveyard. Otawara is his land for turn. He's going to play Rona.
Costing one less.
One less.
Single blue up Otawara.
Blue. And then he's going to pass. He's getting close here. See, so that's another push. It will trigger Mill 3. Moon Marsh. Great Hall of the Citadel.
Devin's got to be getting low in library.
Getting milled for 3 and seeing 0 legendaries is very odd in this deck.
Yes. 10 to 15 cards, somewhere in that area at this point. So we're...
Yeah. Yeah, very, very low. It's like, how many you got hanging out
counting
there?
graveyards, getting close to the point where you just start firing off field ruins to force landfall.
Yeah. And essentially, they're like almost strip mines at this point too, right?
Yes.
There's like, there can't be many. I mean, how many basics?
Without that, Devin's deck is pretty. It's got to be pretty light on actual land types.
Yeah, he has a singular forest in this deck.
There we go.
So, and it is currently in play, so not really getting anything with field. All right, so he's gonna pass here. So Tim's sitting on just a watery grave plus the field, so he can push Rona. He's gonna Frank Sanity.
Cycle again.
Cycle draw. How many cards he's got? Mill 4, and looks like that's gonna be all right. Wow! Oh my gosh! Slogging there. Definitely makes it hard here. So let's take a look at the. So let's take a look at sideboard here for Devin. We're going on getting Tim's deck list. So for Devin, looks like he has the Giganta. He has 2 Soulguard Lanterns, 2 Haywire Mites, a Stone of Erech, a Filigree Silex, an Oath of Chandra, 2 Lavinia Azorius Renegade, a Denic, Pious Apprentice, a Lauren of the Third Path, 2 Dismember, and 1 Pithing Needle. So not a whole lot, unfortunately, that he can bring in to sort of matchup. I mean, Lavinia's actually don't seem too bad here because it'll shut down any archive traps. But other than that, there's not a whole lot else. Not really doing much. He can always play Soulguard Lanterns to maybe, exile his own graveyard to stop it down in the lock.
Or surgical extraction, like something weird like that.
Yeah. Just like try to snipe something so you don't have to deal with it. But those are very niche situations.
Dev also has some like built-in insurance against that with the Kethis activated ability.
Yeah.
Just not play any spells, exile the card to blank the surgical effect.
Yeah. And then for Tim's side, we have 2 Crypt Incursions. Definitely a solid include in here with all the creatures in Devin's deck. He's got 3 Ensnaring Bridges, 1 Extirpate, 2 Ghost Quarters, 2 Soulguard Lanterns, 2 Stern Scoldings. He has a Tasha's Hideous Laughter in the sideboard, and he has 2 Trick Binds in the sideboard. So Trick Binds, Tasha's, Soul Guide, Extirpate, Crypt Incursions all seem like great sideboard options for him here. Probably removing some of the slower cards and try to go a little bit more aggressive. So we'll see how they want to sideboard here. It looks like he might be in those. He's thinking about leaving the Trick Binds out.
Deciding on the Trick Binds. I think Tim also moved the Ghost Quarters in.
Okay, definitely interesting.
Maybe he picked up that Devin's deck isn't basic heavy. Yeah. So he can just sort of fire off Ghost Quarters as Wastelands. Yeah. Just sort of keep them off mana.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely not too bad at all. Ironically, the Tim's playing Trick Binds over Tishana Sidebinders, which Tishana Sidebinders would just be better in this situation, because the Trick Bind will only stop the Kethis once, but the Tishanas will continue to stop.
Yes, and just
Kethis.
Keep it off while it remains in play.
Yeah. Yeah, so doing a lot of sideboarding here. Devin is already ready to go. It's like, here's my deck. I am ready to try to legendary combo people.
Hopefully we get to see Devin's deck do its thing.
Yes, yeah, it is quite marvelous to watch. So I'm really hoping we get that treat, because it is sweet. Tim's shuffling up here.
This matchup is a weird sort of dynamic where Tim is sort of fueling Devin's combo by putting cards in the graveyard.
Yeah. And it's like everything except for Tasha's is literally just like, here you go, have some toys to play with, whatever you need, I'll put it in your graveyard for you.
Yeah, yes. But on the other hand, the cards in Devin's graveyard does give Tim that option to be surgical extraction them, to sort of pull him out.
Yeah.
Can also leave Devin open to a crypt incursion, which I would imagine would be pretty backbreaking. If he's trying to set up for Kethis, or like even in response to casting Kethis.
Oh yeah. We see a mole here from Devin, not liking that hand. Tim sitting on Sheldock, Polluted Delta, Fraying Sanity, triple down on the lock, drown on the lock, and then Natasha's. It's kind of an interesting keep. Looks like he's gonna keep that hand. I mean, he does have the Fraying Sanity to start fueling the drown on the locks. Getting cards in the graveyard, and then just having 3 counterspell / removal spells to deal with anything that Devin's playing. So Devin going to 7-1 here. Just sitting on a Teferi, Rona, looks like a Pithing Needle. Oh no, he's rolling it again. Not liking
Going
it.
down. Looks like Tim's got 3 drown in the locks, I think.
Yeah. Oh man. So not looking good for Devin already with going, maybe he did the sweet tactic of, I'm just going to put in all my sideboard cards and play 75 cards. And then mold down.
Mold a 4, so
Yeah.
he's got sitting at like a good 67, 68 cards in the deck at this point.
Yes. Yeah, mill me out now. Got this Rona, Teferi. Let's see if we can peek some. Anything else in there here? It looks like he's keeping. Got to pitch 2 cards.
I have to imagine that Devin's deck's able to mulligan fairly well. There's so many options that draw more cards or do the Oath lets you basically ponder. You're gonna look at 3 cards, you're gonna take one. You have some options to sort of select and find your next pieces to sort of set up.
Yeah, plus Rona with a bunch of digging, so.
Halfling's also nice to be able to cast those cast and resolve basically everything in the deck, as well as being ungannerable.
Yeah.
Just a better Birds of Paradise in this deck.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, Tim looks like doing an Archive Trap for turn, which he's got to Ghost Quarter or Field in order to activate, because Devin has 0 fetch lands in his deck.
Devin with playing a Rona.
Yeah. This is nice too for Devin, just since he's not playing any fetch lands, he won't be able to drown the lock, the Rona this turn.
Yes. Yeah, so Devin will be able to activate Rona.
Yeah. Let's do Fatal Push as well. Okay, so we're fetching here.
Tim's on the full 4 Fatal Push. He has those main.
Oh yeah.
I can't imagine he'd pull them out for this matchup.
No, I don't think so.
That is an option to get Rona off the table.
Right, he's shocking here. So maybe we're going to see a push. He's definitely not playing any sort of crab this turn, because he definitely would have played that before playing his fetch land. He's going to get a good old Taparoonie. Oh no, he's fetch shock
and pass.
Okay, maybe he's looking to Fraying Sanity at the end of turn. He's just doing this now to maybe avoid like a Tashana's Tidebinder or anything. So he's gonna activate. All right, draw and discard, hit a land. I think that's another Rona. Right, Dismember.
Devin bringing in his crab insurance.
Alright, so this is a Great Hall of the Citadel. He can Jace this turn, I believe. His face costs 2 and blue. Oh, he's going to Teferi. Uncounterable Teferi. That is pretty solid here. Those drown in the locks are not feeling quite as good.
Tim Fraying Sanity in response.
2, 3, and 4. That's what you'd love to see. 4 legendary spells. Going into the graveyard. Fueling Kethis. That Soul Cauldron would have been pretty nice for Devin. I'm sure he probably would prefer that in his hand, but
with Kethis and Emery in the deck,
yeah,
I don't think it's too hard to get out of that.
No, true.
top of the screen, you see Tim's tracking cards in Devin's deck.
Yeah.
It's definitely... Mill is one of the decks where it's significantly harder to play in paper than play on Magic Online, where you can just look at the screen and see how many cards they have.
See what we hit here. Bunch of lands. 2, 3, 4, 5.
I genuinely didn't.
A lot of land.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Perf. Okay, sweet. So only one amber in there, which is definitely a boon for Devin.
Devin's definitely in a better position than the last game
100%.
after that Tasha's hideous.
Yeah, not getting Tasha's for all 4 of your Mox Ambers. I'm sure he was very stoked about that. But we take those W's. So now he has free reign here, so he's going to do some looting. He's got Boseiju. He's going to discard Boseiju. There's the Amber.
Play a Mox Amber, which untaps Rona, activate Rona again.
Discarding a Emery.
I believe.
For 3, a Kethis. Untap. Tap to loot.
Discard another Kethis, I believe.
Another Kethis.
Barry, bounce the Mox Amber, draw a card, get another mana out of that.
Yeah. Love to see it. Mox Amber, tap and draw. Whew. Fueling.
Discard a Boseiju. Devin's got the option to activate Kethis. You can cast the Soul Cauldron, the Kinnan, cast the Emery.
I feel Kinnan here might be pretty solid. I mean, really what Devin was digging for there was another Mox Amber. So then he can start chaining Mox Ambers. All right, he's going to Jace. He's going to Jace, and he's going to mill himself here.
There's a Mox Amber.
There's a Mox Amber. Perfect. Exactly what he wants to see. He's going to loot. Yeah, knowing this deck, I feel like this game is probably over.
A Kinnan activation there.
Yeah, very notable thing that he does too is he'll separate, because the new cards into the graveyard won't be able to be cast from the graveyard. Right, he's gonna Soul Cauldron.
Cast the Soul Cauldron, Halfling under the Soul Cauldron.
Under the Rona.
Set up Rona. She's gonna draw, discard, and make mana each time.
No, he's making mana each time with Rona.
Oh, true. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Discard. Just make mana there.
Run the Denix and mill himself a bunch again. Gonna mill himself out. Play the bunch. Gonna play the Mox Amber. Mill you. And he's going to mill his mill opponent out. Yeah, he can do this very many times. Yeah. Yeah, he's kind of shortcutting here. So, I mean, essentially he's like producing mana with Rona. And you look at that, this one, he's like, okay, that was really sick.
After getting milled was not on Tim's idea of what would happen in games today.
Yeah, that should be on our bingo card. Mill player gets milled out. Yeah, definitely cool. Like Devin's deck is always a blast to watch, and he's just got so many reps with it that it's definitely cool to see somebody who's so familiar with their deck and then just knows how everything works. So, Tim now knows what he's playing.
Very much about the deck. It sort of exposes it all right there. Yeah, Devin being this much of like an archetype master is really, really cool to see, especially for something that's not like a big tier deck.
Yeah,
like you have like the Titan experts or like Yawgmoth experts, but like those have Titan especially has been a thing in Modern since the format started, basically.
Yeah.
So you have people that have been playing the deck for over a decade at this point.
Yeah.
But Kethis is at most has been around since the card came out in M20, I believe, M21.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can't imagine this specific iteration of it really worked as well before Rona.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
Then the new loops with Jace the Perfected Mind and especially Cauldron here, sort of
Yeah.
just giving that redundancy.
Yeah, it is just cool that, and especially this type of deck is also really well positioned for just kind of how Magic is nowadays, where there's just like so many legendary creatures in every single set. So Devin gets to look at the spoilers for every set and go, "Oh yes, new toys to play with. Look at all these cards that I get to put in my deck now. There's so many. There's tons. It's awesome. It's great to see."
Those choices also makes it easy to adapt to different meta games. Like if he doesn't want the Grist or something, pull
Yeah.
that out and add another Teferi,
Yeah.
or add a Renin 6,
Yeah.
or who knows,
Yeah,
whatever.
change your 1-ofs, change up the way you're winning if certain decks are just dominating and people's sideboards are changing. Yeah, because this does kind of suffer from the, I guess essentially the Yawgmoth effect, where people are putting in curse totems.
Yeah.
So now he has to deal with curse totems coming in more frequently because those are not very good for his deck.
Yeah, getting some splash damage from that. However, does have the option, like we just saw, of using a Jace the Perfected Mind loop.
Yeah.
I believe to fully pull that off, he needs Kethis active
Yes.
to be able to continue to play the card.
So Kethis has to stick on board because the new cards that go into the graveyard do not get the be able to cast from your graveyard ability. So he has to have a critical mass of cards in his graveyard in order to continue the looping of the Mox Ambers plus Jace. So
That's what's the old Storm problem after you've cast your Past in Flames. You need to have your graveyard hand and your graveyard graveyard.
yes, the actual graveyard. So Tim's going to be on the play for this round. Looks like he's sitting on Drown, Polluted Delta, looks like a Field, Fraying Sanity, Archive Trap, and then some other mill cards, presumably. There's another Polluted Delta.
2 Archive Traps?
2 Archive Traps? Yeah, so double Archive Trap, double Delta, Drown, Field of Ruin, plus Fraying Sanity.
Normally, the Archive Traps wouldn't really be where I'd want to be in this matchup in Tim's seat, but that Field of Ruin lets him fire that off and then mill damage for 26.
Oh, yes.
So,
Yeah. Yeah,
in
Ghost Quarter Pop-
this hand specifically.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Good one.
All right. So Devin going to go down to 6 here. I think it looks like Tim's keeping. Devin's sitting with a pretty solid opener for him. He's got a Mox Amber, a Plaza. He's got double Teferi plus Rona plus Otawara, looks like. I'm kind of seeing. Yeah, it looks like he's keeping here. He's going to bottom a Magical Gathering card, whatever that may be.
Yes, it's so similar to this.
Tim starting with a Polluted Delta. Devin with a Plaza of Heroes into an Oath of Nissa.
Sweet. It's a good one. See, getting the Kethis, awesome.
There we go. Good start for Devin.
Just like what you want. Okay, Tim's gonna fetch. Yeah, being a fetch landless deck too really helps out Devin a lot.
Yes.
With not putting any cards in his graveyard against Drown, not thinning his deck whatsoever. Everything is just straight up Magic. There's nothing extra going to the yard that he does not want to go there.
Yeah, he dodges the very fun experience a lot of people have had where you fetch turn 1 and then get multiple Archive Traps.
Yeah, you get Archive Trap, it's like, oh, okay, that's great. I mean, even though Devin might be like, oh, yeah, sure, sign me up.
Right, fair.
Yeah,
Yes.
Don't mind if I do. I'll take
His lands
that.
and a Kethis in hand.
Yeah.
He's good to go.
Yeah. It's like, wait, like, you're gonna mill me and I'm gonna put a bunch of Mox Ambers into my graveyard? Okay. If you have to, I guess I'll take that.
That's fine. We can do this.
So you see second Polluted Delta from Tim.
Just a pass there. Looks like Tim's just sort of leaning into the Field of Ruin Archive Trap plan with his hand. Devin with a Mox Amber. We have 3 mana available.
No, 2 still. Mox Amber is only Planeswalker or creature.
Oh, my mistake.
Yeah, legendary one. Yeah, unfortunately, Oath of Nissa does not turn on Mox Amber. It would be really sweet if
I
it
have
did.
played Mox Amber, but never with a deck without legend.
Yeah.
Only legendary creatures or planeswalkers are in the deck.
Yes. Yeah, very, very niche, small thing, so. Let's see.
Mox Amber getting hit by Drown Walk. Tim.
Okay. I think Devin is totally okay with that, because it's totally fine if he is in the graveyard.
Tim drawing another land. think he's got a snow-covered swamp in hand, as well as another polluted delta right now for his draws he's had.
Devin's sitting on double Rona, no, single Rona, double Kethis, double Teferi. Kind of an awkward hand there. Wait, he's just gonna pollute a delta here.
Raiding Sanity from 10. I believe he has one of those in hand right now.
Gonna put you in just an island.
Tim with the one of snow-covered island and snow-covered swamp in his list,
Yeah.
along with the regular island and
Amazing.
regular swamp.
Yeah. It is also kind of odd that he's not just getting like just fetch lands. Sorry, fetching into the
lands?
shocks.
It's
Because his
true.
life total is irrelevant.
Yeah, this is a matchup where both players' life total does not matter.
Oh yeah. The life total is irrelevant. Like there's no way you're fetch shocking yourself into death. So you might as well just get the Water Your Graves. But I mean, he may have his reasons.
He did see the blocking ballista out of Devin's deck, so maybe
Yeah,
like if Devin
that's true.
like Tim's playing around, if Devin can't go like fully in like quote unquote infinite with the
Yeah.
ballista, you can still cast one for 6.
Yeah,
X equals 6 to get a 3/3 and
it's true.
finish the game with that.
Oof, man, he really helped Devin out here. Got the other Monk's Hammer in hand. We're gonna exile some cards, be able to cast some other stuff. He's going to float some mana.
Start to make
play
some
this.
mana.
He's gonna float that. He's gonna play the other Monk's Hammer, float some more mana. See if it's a fairy. Did he mill it a fairy? Not a fairy. A Jace. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Jace, alrighty.
Yeah. And with Oath of Nissa, you can use mana as any color. I think this game is also over.
Yeah, it looks like
Yeah.
Devin is pretty well set up here. There's the 4th Mox Amber.
Oh yeah, there's no.
Access to the full graveyard right now. Casting at the ferry.
Yeah, it's like this is fine.
Shouldn't be
I'm
some-
gonna do the same thing I did last time. I think Tim is thinking, yeah, it's probably just gonna be over
I
here.
think his hand is double archive trap right now, and the snow covered swamp.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like just gonna do this over and over again.
Yeah, so Devin's gonna mill his deck, set up to just loop those Jace the Perfected Minds like before. And
Yeah,
allow
just
Tim.
handshake. Woof,
There it is.
man. Look at that.
Quick-
Turn 3.
Quick win for Devin.
Yeah.
That game.
Yeah, it really shows like I mean, Mox Amber plus Oath makes it so easy to combo.
Yes.
Like it makes it so easy. Just being able to be it doesn't really matter what this Mox Amber is producing. It's gonna tap for anything for any of my creatures and my planeswalkers. I don't have to worry about that. And yeah, just like chaining the Kethis over and over again. Definitely solid. Always fun to see Devin's
Yes.
deck. I always love seeing his deck. So how masterfully he pilots it every single time too. It's just like watching a pro player invent a deck for the first time. It's always a treat. Thank you guys for watching that with us because it's always awesome. Tim, definitely hard fought. Ironically, like just drawing multiple archive traps just feels like the correct thing to do, and it just is like pointless against this deck. 'Cause
not
there's
in
no
this
fetch
matchup,
lands. And it's like normally it's like you see double archive trap and you're like, oh yeah, we're cooking. Like we got 3 lands, Atasha's, and double archive trap. Like we're winning this
That's what
game.
Mill wants.
Yeah, just like
Just
great
not here.
hands. Just yeah, not good. Yeah, it looks like he did bring in Crypt Incursion, Soul Guide, so did bring in Trick Binds. But yeah, definitely good showings from both players. We got one more round until our top 8 here, so we're gonna be back in just a little bit. We hope to see you guys there. We're really excited to see what decks make the top 8.